Today I wanted to have a chat about demerit points and more specifically, how many points can you get before you lose your driver's license? The number of points you can get depends on what kind of license you hold. Each category of license in New South Wales has a different threshold. Now, if you go over that threshold within a 3-year period, you're going to get a letter saying that your license will be suspended. So what are the limits for each category? If you're a P1 driver, that's your red Ps, then your threshold is 4 points. That means you'll be okay if you hit 3 points within 3 years, but if you hit that 4th point, your license is going to be suspended, and it's going to be suspended for a period of 3 months. For P2 license holders, that's green Ps, your threshold limit is 7 points. So you'll be okay if you hit 6 points within 3 years, but if you hit that 7th point, then again, you're going to receive a license suspension, and again, it will be for a period of 3 months. Unrestricted license holders have a higher threshold. Their number of points is 13. So if they get up to 12 points in 3 years, they're okay. That 13th point will tip them over and lead to a suspension. Now, the length of the suspension is going to depend on how many points they go over the limit. So it's going to be somewhere between 3 to 5 months in total. The final category are professional license holders. These are people who drive for a living. Now, it's not everybody who drives for work, it's specific categories. So it tends to be things like bus drivers, taxi drivers, truck drivers. Professional license holders get an extra point, so their threshold is 14 points. It works a little bit differently to the other categories in that once they go over the 13-point threshold for normal unrestricted license holders, they'll get the notice of suspension, and it's at that point they can apply for their bonus point. If a professional driver gets 14 or more points within a 3-year period, then again their license will be suspended, and like an unrestricted license holder, it depends how many points they've gone over the limit by as to how long they're off the road for. So it'll be somewhere between 3 and 5 months. Probably the most important question though is, what should you do if you find yourself over your demerit point limit? Again, the answer depends on what kind of license you hold. Provisional license holders, so red and green Ps, they have an option to appeal against the suspension to the court. So they'll go before a magistrate and they'll ask for the suspension to be either waived entirely or reduced to a shorter period. Unrestricted and professional license holders don't have a license appeal option. Instead, what they get offered is a good behaviour license. That's a double or nothing license, or sometimes a golden point license people will call it, and it's where you get a limit of only 2 points for 12 months. So if you hit 2 or more demerit points on a good behaviour license, your license gets suspended for twice as long as the original suspension. So you could be looking anywhere from 6 to 8 months off the road. The alternative is, sometimes you might be better to take your ticket to court before you pay it and the points hit the record. There are some orders that magistrates can make that have the effect of the demerit points not going onto your record at all. And if that happens, you won't go over your limit and you won't get the notice of suspension. The best thing to do is, if you've received a ticket that you think is going to put you over your demerit point limit, or if you've already got the notice of suspension, give us a call, we'll talk you through your options.